If you would like to develop a board portfolio, which is an increasingly common theme with executives that I'm speaking with, there are a number of reasons why you would consider partnering with Kylie Hammond to help develop that profile in the market. I've been developing clients' board portfolios for well over a decade. It's been a key theme of mine. In fact, I trademarked board portfolio more than 15 plus years ago. I have helped hundreds and hundreds of very, very senior chairs and non-executive directors develop their board portfolio and to typically get a portfolio up onto really solid commercial terms. So that means generating a reasonable level of income. And the vast majority of my clients would be sort of in that 300 to 500,000 range from a modest board portfolio. And then we have a cohort of clients who are typically serving in either the very substantial ASX listed organisations or very, very large private company environments, and they're earning over that $1 million mark. So the main reasons why you'd consider working with me and not kind of try and do it all yourself and go it alone is, first and foremost, the market has really shifted. It's become increasingly competitive. There's a lot of noise in the market, and it is really, really challenging to differentiate yourself from other candidates, and even people who are extremely well qualified, who have an incredible reputation, struggle to secure board roles. These roles are 100% unadvertised. I don't care what you see on the boards and the advertised market. That is really the noise that happens in the market. It's not the real board work that happens, and it's not the real board appointments where you're being paid to serve on the board. So the vast majority of the roles that are in the market are unadvertised, and to access those roles, you need to have access to not only a network, but you've got to be introduced to the right person on the right day. And so that's why a lot of people work with me, because they may have a very incredible business network, but it might not be in the right area. For example, they might have a great C-suite network, but they don't have a board director network, or they don't have connections in the right companies, or the private equity firms, or the venture capital firms, or the family offices. So the vast majority of people who work with me do come to me because they need access to private introductions. They want to be connected. They understand that this is how the vast majority of board roles come to pass. It's through those private business networks. So that's really crucial. A lot of people will come to me because the branding is just not on point. They don't know how to put the board resume together. They don't have the right LinkedIn profile. They struggle with applications. Literally this morning I had a client who didn't know how to put together, an application for, the ABC board. It's complex. There's a lot to these applications these days. So there's a lot of content to get right, and we have a whole professional team that come in behind that. And then the final piece is really around the commercial realities. People want to do this work because they want to give back, but they do want to be correctly remunerated for this work. It's risky. You're taking on responsibility for organisations, and the commercial contracts are really crucial to get right. It's also important, if you're going down a pathway of advisory type work versus non-executive director work, that you don't fall into a trap of potentially being deemed to be a shadow director, still taking on risks and issues that you really shouldn't be doing. So we work in partnership with you to do due diligence, contract negotiation, and we come to the table with a bit of a sense of who's who in the zoo, really being very conservative with our approach so that our clients are taking a low risk approach to their board portfolio. So, having someone who takes that really holistic view of you and your skills, your experience, and what you're capable of, where you would add real value in a boardroom setting, combining it with the private introductions to the right people at the right time, and then finally taking this very sensible approach, making it a low risk portfolio. And of course, often what happens is we develop a portfolio of activity. So it could include mentoring, it could include, consulting or advisory work, facilitation. It could include education, so training or lecturing or speaking events. So there's all sorts of elements that can come together, but the most important bit is making sure this all complements and comes together in terms of an overarching board search strategy, so that there is a real method to the madness of putting together a board portfolio so that it becomes sustainable. Now, what typically happens is in the 12-month partnership, we get these portfolios up onto really solid commercial terms. And then in the subsequent years, the client can then ramp things up and go to another level and another level. Many clients re-engage with me year on year for board refreshment. But regardless, we remain friends for life, and we will be constantly interacting with each other as other board opportunities come on and off your portfolio. And of course, you'd be working with the Tiger Board's board search practice and getting exclusive access to roles and opportunities. Now, I can only work with a limited cohort of clients, so I am almost at capacity, but I do always try and take on a couple of new clients per quarter. And, we will be working with you to develop that board portfolio that's right for you and really tailored to your unique requirements. I'd love to have a discussion with you about that and have a chat about where you are today, where you'd like to be in the future, what has worked and maybe what hasn't worked so far, and how our services could really complement. So I look forward to speaking with you about board portfolio.